Hey folks, it's me Roger back with another video. Uh, Last weekend drove out to Knoxville, Tennessee, which is at the eastern edge of the state, to go to the annual Big Ears Festival. Longtime viewers might remember I went last year, saw Anthony Braxton, Mary Halverson, and a bunch of other people. Loved it, and we decided we were going to go back no matter who the lineup was. And it's a really amazing experience. It's one of the most smoothly run festivals I've ever been to. I mean, it just runs like clockwork, and it's very easy. And I saw 17 concerts over the course of 4 days, and that was without even knocking myself out. Took some time out to go record digging with Charlie Simile. Hey Charlie, I'll show some records in a second. Yeah, and there's stuff going on all the time, so you have to make choices. Sometimes some very hard choices, but it's really cool. Big Ears. I could go on and on and on about, I mean, I saw amazing things every day. I got to see Matthew Shipp twice and chat with him briefly. And let's see, we'll just go through each day. So Thursday, that was a highlight, was Matt Shipp with Bobby Cap on drums, which was it was so amazing. It was as close to like Monk that Matt Shipp kind of gets. But it was free, but it swung a little bit. It was really, really cool. It was, and an hour solid. Yeah, and so Friday, I went record digging with Charlie, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But I did make it back to see Richard Teitelbaum do a solo electronic set in this little small venue. I mean, that's another cool thing about this festival is, once you're there and you have your wristband, we did the VIP thing this year. A little more about that later. All the venues are really nice, and it's all within walking distance. You can park your car and like you're there. It's really cool. So yeah, Richard Teitelbaum solo electronics was awesome. Matthew Shipp solo again that night, and then we went to see Wilco instead of Carla Bley. Now, what can I say? It had been many years since we'd seen Wilco, and because of the VIP thing, we got really nice seats right in the front, and they were great. Nels Cline he's a guitar god. I'm not a big fan of their recent records, but live they're great. All right, and then we went to see Tortoise, which was late. It was like midnight, and I love their records, but I was really excited to see them live, and to be honest, to me, and again, I was tired. It just didn't seem to gel. Like when the two drummers were going, they were like not in sync, and it was a little bit of that sneaker in the dryer effect. You know what I mean? And I was watching them. Maybe they hadn't played in a while. Whatever. It was cool to see them. But it was a little bit disappointing. Okay, so Saturday saw Sir Richard Bishop solo guitar, and then Hans Joachim Rodelius. But I only got to see about half of his set because there was another show that I really, really had to go. But I did get this from his merch table. This is Rodelius and Tim Story, Inlandish. Was originally released on CD in like 2008, 2009, something like that. And this is a new limited vinyl reissue. 2 LPs with a signed print. It's really nice. Got to talk to his road manager, merch guy, for a while. So anyway, I had to leave early to go see Musica Elettronica Viva. And now I know a lot of you guys know about Mev. They made a couple of really landmark records for BYG Actuel back in the late 60s. And it's now 3 guys: Frederick Rzuski, Richard Teitelbaum, and Alvin Curran. And each of them did a solo set. I missed Rzuski played his very famous piano piece, "The People United Will Never Be Defeated." And Alvin Curran apparently did a really amazing solo set, but I missed it. But I did see them play together, and it was neat. It was like in the round. They set up on the floor of this big barn-like venue instead of on the stage, and you just sat around them. And really, once in a lifetime kind of experience. I mean, these guys are, Rzuski and Teitelbaum. They're late 70s. They're not getting any younger. And I bought this at their merch table from the owner of this label, the Victo label. There's a great shot of them. I've listened to this. This is excellent, actually. This is recorded just last year at the Victoriaville Festival. Yeah, great. So I left Rodelius, went to see Mev. So awesome. Got a little bite to eat, and then it was like, okay, I know Jeff in Canada. Glowing Double O Cabbage really likes this band, Horse Lords. Let's go check them out. And they were awesome. They were, I really didn't know what to expect. And it was, math rock. Well, yeah, it was math rock. I mean, the shifting time signatures was really super impressive. But like African rhythms, they groove. They could groove in 2.5 and 7 and 6 and stuff. And really repetitious, but I noticed, oh wow, they've refretted their guitar and bass to just intonation. So sometimes the intonation would get a little spicy. You know what I mean? Really interesting, really intense, like no nonsense, and they were tight as hell. They blew me away, and no merch. I was like, and I went to Grimeys when we got back, and they had none of their records. So I got to get on that. All right, so then took a dinner break and went to see Henry Grimes at this beautiful theater. Again, we got to sit nice and close, and he had a great quartet with Tamika Reed on cello and Nicole Mitchell on flute and Warren Smith on drums. Now, Henry Grimes is a freaking legend, and I don't know if you know the story, but I'm going to tell it because it's so amazing. He played with Albert Eiler. He made a great record on ESP disc. He played with Cecil Taylor in the 60s. Like, he was this really big deal, and then he disappeared for decades. People thought he was dead. And the social worker in New York, who was a jazz fan, went looking for him and found him, living on the streets, and helped him get on his feet and get him a bass. And he has Parkinson's disease now, and I think there's some mental health issues. I'm not certain about that, but the guy's like been through the ringer, and he has to be helped out on stage, and he has that kind of mask, non-affect of like Parkinson's disease, and he's kind of trembling. But they put the bass, this big double bass in his hand, and his fingers are alive, and again they play for an hour, and it was really moving. It really was. And again, another once in a lifetime thing. I mean, he plays in New York quite a bit, but I don't live in New York. And then we went to see Super Silent at that same theater, and again, it was late. I wanted to like it, but it was so loud, and it was so... They did two kind of long pieces that both kind of did the same thing, like kind of minimalist, sort of droney, quiet, and then there would be this cacophonous, like assaultive electronic percussion thing, and then it would sort of calm down. And it was, people around me were like, it was the most amazing thing, and I'm like, well, it just goes to show. All right, so finally Sunday was kind of a quiet day. We saw Nels Cline do a secret show with this guy named Luke, Louque, like a New Orleans dude. And so it was kind of in that Wilco cosmic Americana sort of vein. But again, Nels Cline, he kills it. And then finally, kind of the main event was Henry Threadgill's Zooid, again at that nice theater. And again, we got to sit nice and close. Got to meet up with Sam Bird's long-time childhood friend, who I've heard about ever since I've known Sam. He was there. We finally got to meet up and have dinner, and we went to see Henry Threadgill together. That was fun. And Threadgill was amazing. I mean, it was really, really special. And but also exhausting. And I wanted to come right back and make a video, but I was too wiped out. So that was Figures. Oh wait, I also saw Caitlin Aurelia Smith do a solo electronic set, and she was really good. It was neat, like, you know, she wasn't like repatching that Buchla over and over again, and she obviously had some kind of digital MIDI thing going on, and so that she could do a like continuous set. But it was quite impressive. All right, so yeah, Figures. Cheers. All right, so yeah, once again, Charlie Simmerly, who has a YouTube channel, hasn't made a video in a while. He says he's going to. He's a student at UT in Knoxville, and we went record digging last year, and I was like, hey, we're coming back to Nashville. You want to do it again? It was really fun. And he's like, sure. And so I got to spend a few hours going to a few stores around Knoxville, including this place called Wild Honey, which is a really great store, really like kind of high dollar collectibles store kind of place. But it's tucked in this really ritzy neighborhood. Like, I've been there twice now, and there's no way I could find it because, well, Charlie's driving. He's like, oh, they're doing construction here. We'll go this way. And then, oh, construction. Oh, we'll go. So I get all turned around. And anyway, thank you, Charlie, for driving. That's really nice of you. And it's fun to hang out. And so anyway, and Wild Honey, I didn't put these in order. Well, all right. Wild Honey also had a pop-up store at the, it's called Jackson's Landing. It's an old railroad terminal that they've converted, where you got your wristband and stuff, and all the merch was there. And so they had a pop-up store. And hey, look what I finally found. The Yusef Kamal Black Focus record that everyone in the VC is raving about. And I can see why. This is really good. This is, I think, kind of a private press thing. So, what is it? Brownswood Recordings. Yeah, I thought this was one guy, but it's really two guys, Yusef and Kamal. London-based duo, I guess. And I really like this because it's not just a throwback to 70s Fender Rhodes style funk, although there's a good deal of that makes it so tasty, but it sounds contemporary to me, and there's some really interesting synth work, very highly modulated synth work. Yeah, this is cool. Glad to find that. I was gonna have to mail order or something. But so yeah, the Wild Honey store in Knoxville, the store proper, had some amazing records on the wall. You know, $50, $60, $150 records that I had to pass. Yeah. But I did get two records there. A Stockhausen record I didn't have, Kreuzspiel, Kontrapunkt, Zeitmaß, and Adieu. These are very famous, great classic Stockhausen pieces. With the London Sinfonietta. I'm not going to be able to find a year on this. 70s sometime. Yeah, still in shrink wrap. Now, I know I tease Andreas about shrink wrap, and you know, I'm going to remove this shrink wrap. But you know, when I find a record like this and it's still in its shrink wrap, I think, oh, that it's kind of special that it's still in its shrink wrap. So, yeah. Anyway, just a little aside. I'm going to try not to go on too long here. I also picked this up. This is a fairly common record, but not usually in this condition. Lenny's Tristano and Atlantic. I'm not sure what exactly this is from, but it's a Plum stereo label. Lenny Tristano, really interesting, the jazz guy that got kind of lumped in with the West Coast cool jazz kind of thing, and it was that, but he made arguably the first free improvisation, free jazz record in the late 50s. I forget what it's called now, but he was kind of more important as a teacher than as a player. I don't think he made a lot of records under his own name. Yeah. So that was cool. All right, and so then we went to this place called Raven Records, which is Knoxville's oldest record store. Been there since '85 or something like that. I got a T-shirt, but I'm not wearing it. And let's see, I got a bunch of things there. Yeah, they had a bin. It was a really well curated store. You know, it wasn't just like metal section. It was like, you know, 80s metal, British new wave of heavy metal. You know, doom metal. You know, punk. And so anyway, there was a bin called "If You Like Big Ears," you know, and that's where they put, you know, stuff like this. Merzbow. This was still sealed. Merzbow with Basals Pandi, who is like a, I think he's like an avant metal drummer. Plays, I can't remember. I have a record that he plays with Joe Morris. This like jazz metal thing that's really cool. And Merzbow, of course, is, you know, noise. It's recorded live at La Poisson Rouge in New York on September 26, 2010. Space Jazz Volume 1. Now, the sad thing is that my turntable is kaput, so I haven't been able to listen to these. Well, actually, I tried, but it was torture, and I had to take them off. Found this still sealed there for like $10. I was excited. Charlie Mariano, October on Inner City from 77, I think, 77, 78. It's recorded in October 77. With a great band with Rainer Burninghaus on acoustic electric piano, synthesizers, Barry Phillips on bass, Turlock Gertu on tabla and percussion, and a couple of German-looking names that I don't recognize. But I recently showed that great record, Mirror, I think it's called, that's on Atlantic from a few years prior to this. Charlie Mariano didn't make a lot of records under his own name. And this is excellent. And as you might imagine from that lineup, there's a little bit of an ECM kind of vibe to the music, but it's not slathered in 15 seconds of reverb. So, yeah, there's that. Cool stuff. Yeah, so found this in the If You Like Big Ears. Seems to be in decent shape. This is Pierre Henry's Le Voyage, an electronic score based on the Tibetan Book of the Dead. On Mercury, a panorama of experimental music, volume 2. So this is musique concrète, or tape music, you know, pre-synthesizer electronic music from the 50s? Late 50s, early 60s. Too cool to pass up. And this. Now, the jacket is not in great shape. It's got tape around the edges and stuff, but sort of some tear there, but good. One Jade Warrior I was missing from this period. Released. It's original U.S. pressing on Vertigo. Yes. It's a swirl. Now the jacket doesn't look like it's in great shape, but the vinyl looks excellent. And that's all that really matters to me. So, yeah, haven't had a chance to spin this yet. Really looking forward to it. And someone, I want to say Anthony Camplone showed this recently. That's my memory, but, you know, my memory's shot. Someone showed this record, and I'm like, that's a cool cover. Malachi, Holy Music on Verve. This is from 1966, apparently. And you've got liner notes by Allen Ginsberg, and it's like this hippie dude. Proto-New Age, psychedelic proto-New Age kind of something. I don't know. Whatever. This is what the VC does to me. It's like a record will flash in front of my eyes and it'll be like, oh. And then I'll see it and it'll be like, oh, well, I guess I have to buy it. It's like I'm hypnotized. All right. So then, okay, I'm almost done. Then we went to this new record that was having a soft opening, a new record store. So it wasn't totally built out yet, but turns out it's owned by our own Paxton Sellers, who's active on the Facebook side of things, but doesn't make videos. Really cool guy. So Magnolia Records, fairly close to downtown. And they had a bunch of really cool things. In fact, he was telling me they got this estate sale of all this 80s stuff. And so, like, if you wanted every Cocteau Twins record, they were there waiting for your money. But yeah, I only got a couple things. Morton Subotnick record, Sidewinder on Columbia. And I like the subtitle, created by Morton Subotnick on the Electric Music Box. I want one of them electric music boxes. Well, actually, I have one. Yeah, this will be interesting. This is after Silver Apples, obviously. But yeah. And this is a record I once owned. In fact, a lot of Paxton stock, the used stuff, was like, oh, I used to own that. Oh, I used to own that. Oh, I used to own that. Oh, and now they're like expensive records. I hate when that happens, but so it goes. So anyway, I've been kind of looking for these felt records, and you don't see them around. So I did get this. This is what, their third album. Now I used to think it was on 4AD. My memory was it was on 4AD. It's not. It's on a much smaller label, Cherry Recordings. Produced by Robin Guthrie from the Cocteau Twins. I'm anxious to hear this again. This was a little pricey, but Paxton gave me a VC discount. Thanks, Paxton. You're a cool dude. I wish you the best with your store. If what I saw is any indication, you'll do well. All right, that's it. 21 minutes, 22 minutes. It's not bad considering I babbled at you about Big Ears, which was incredible. People come from all over the world for that. All right, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for your comments. I'll see you soon.